This video is going to explore how we, as coaches, leaders, and administrators can help instill a quality of character in our student athletes' lives, not only on the court, but off the court. I'm Janine Emmer, graduate student at Concordia University Irvine, enrolled in the Masters of Coaching and Athletic Administration program. How do you value yourself? How do you treat others? How do you know the difference between right and wrong? The answer and the reflections required for those questions all revolve around moral values. Authors Lumpkin, Stoll, and Beller define moral values as the relative worth that we place on human relationships and all human acts, intentions, and motives that affect and impinge on others. The specific moral value that we're going to focus on today is integrity. When you're working with your student athletes, it is critical that we define integrity, but we have to get them engaged in that conversation. How do they define integrity? Regardless if you're working with youth, high school athletes, or collegiate athletes, you have to get on their level. You can certainly Google a myriad of different definitions, but unless we go on the child's level, on the student athlete's level, to have that clean, crisp definition, comprehension won't be there. So step number one on how to instill integrity into your student athletes, have that conversation and define what that means, not only on the court, but off the court. It is also critical that we as leaders display integrity. There's 5 components, I think, in our lives where we have the opportunity to do that. I think most notably, we can consider our career. Are we being role models to our student athletes and to our colleagues? Another one, what does our integrity look like when we're alone? Do we display the same integrity when we're among friends and family? Also, are our social media posts, comments, likes, dislikes aligned with our moral values? Not only are these great opportunities for leaders to display integrity, but they are also transferable to our student athletes. What do their social media posts look like? Are they displaying integrity when they're among family, friends, or alone? Also, are they treating their education like their career? Are they displaying integrity in the classroom, studying for exams, taking exams? Are they displaying integrity during practice and games? Jeffrey Marks describes this phenomena as revolving integrity. He states, and I quote, "No matter which way or what situation you are in that turns you, people will see that you have the same integrity in every situation. You are not different here with me than you are tonight out with your friends. You are not different in the class than when you are at home." Again, revolving integrity, taking all components, not only of our lives, but of our student athletes' lives, and instilling and displaying that integrity. Revolving integrity doesn't have a break. You're on display 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. Sometimes that spotlight is a little brighter, perhaps when you're in season than when you're out of season. But either way, integrity and those moral values are a must. As leaders, we have to practice what we preach. One, again, define integrity, get those student athletes engaged in that conversation. 2, model it. Social media, family, friends, alone, and during your career. That will transfer and be an example for those student athletes. 3, we have to shape integrity. We have to call our student athletes out when there's a lack of it. We have to call our student athletes out and reinforce it when it's on display. Integrity does not mean perfection. There will be mishaps for you and your student athletes. Martin notes, coaching for character does not mean, however, that you must be a paragon of virtue. No one's asking for perfection, but we are asking ourselves and our student athletes to be better tomorrow than what they were today. It's got to be continuous growth. There are going to be mishaps. But again, are you coming back tomorrow a better, more informed person of integrity than you were the day before? And there are countless examples in professional sports, collegiate sports, high school sports, where integrity is fallen by the wayside. Consider those student athletes, those professional athletes that have gotten caught using performing enhancement drugs. There was a lack of integrity from the student athlete and perhaps even the other people involved. Consider the recent headlines of the admissions scandal for colleges. There's a myriad of Hollywood parents, students that were admitted and granted scholarships that never participated or were engaged in that particular sport. There were admission counselors that had a lapse of integrity. There were people that were administering standardized tests that didn't have any integrity or that even took it for the students. So again, examples of lack of integrity are always on display. And you can point those out to your student athletes, but I think it's also important to point out to student athletes when integrity was the focus, it was on display, and you as a leader, as a coach, as an administrator, noticed that integrity. I'd like you to consider a professional tennis athlete, high school tennis athlete, college tennis athlete, someone that's just learning the sport. If your opponent serves and the serve is in, but the ball is called out, what do you do? How do you display integrity? Well, professional tennis player Jack Stock had this exact situation happen in front of thousands of people. His opponent served, the ball was in, the official called it out. Stock encouraged the opponent to challenge that call. The official, the opponent, the audience were all baffled by this decision, but it was the right one. The opponent challenged the call, and the call was reversed. The serve was in, and his opponent won the point. Now, can points make or break games? Is it wins versus loss? Yes, that's important in competition, but even more important are those moral values on display on the court and off the court. Are you that same person when you're in front of thousands of people cheering for you, cheering against you? Are you that same person when you're all alone? Integrity is doing the right thing. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. Again, we can be great examples and role models of integrity to our student athletes, regardless of the age level. It has to be a focus. It can be bigger than game strategy, wins, losses. Consider integrity instilled into a youth athlete from little on. What type of adult do they turn out to be? Hopefully one that's a contributing member of society. Hopefully one that remembers not necessarily a big win against a conference opponent or a loss in a close game where someone missed a free throw, but they remember those teachable moments, the moral values that great coaches display and instill